Everyone's waiting for the crash to happen. Your friend Dave has been sitting on £50,000 in cash for 2 years now, waiting for the perfect moment to invest. Meanwhile, Sarah's been putting in £500 every single month for 3 years. Fast forward to today, and Sarah's portfolio is worth £22,000, and Dave's is still sitting on his £50,000 cash, earning basically nothing. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You cannot predict when markets will crash, but I'm going to show you the exact strategy that wins when you can't time the market. Now, Dave and Sarah are hypothetical friends, but they do represent two different investment approaches with very different results. I've tried both of these approaches, sitting on cash waiting for crashes to happen and investing consistently every single month. Today, I'm showing you the exact numbers behind lump sum investing versus pound cost averaging, when each makes sense, and the strategy I personally use. If you want to stop worrying about timing and start actually building wealth, hit the subscribe button now. Let's be honest, investing right before a crash feels like the dumbest thing you could ever do. Your brain screams, why didn't I wait? But here's the problem. In March 2020, everyone knew markets would keep crashing, and they recovered in 6 months. In 2022, everybody knew we were entering a long bear market. Again, the markets recovered. CXO Advisory Group tracked over 6,000 predictions from 68 market experts over 15 years. These professionals were right just 47% of the time, which is worse than flipping a coin. Meanwhile, here's what happens while you wait. If you had £10,000 sitting in cash earning 2% since January 2020, waiting for the right moment, you'd have about £10,400 today. If you'd invested it in a global index fund instead, even if you invested it right before the COVID crash, you'd have about £17,500 today. Your safe cash strategy has cost you £7,100. Morningstar found that investors who tried to time the market did worse than buy and hold investors by about 1.7% per year over the last decade. On £100,000, that's £17,000 lost over 10 years. The real risk isn't investing at the wrong time, it's not investing at all. Lump sum investing is simple. You've got money to invest and you invest all of it right now. You have £10,000, you buy £10,000 worth of investments immediately. But pound cost averaging, also known as dollar cost averaging, is different. You take that same £10,000 and spread it out over time, maybe £1,000 per month for 10 months. So here's a real example. You've got £12,000 to invest. For a lump sum, you invest the whole £12,000, job done. For pound cost averaging, you invest £1,000 on the first of every month for 12 months. In January, the price is £100 per share, so you get 10 shares. In February, the share drops to £90. You get 11.1 shares for your money. In March, it rises to £110, so you get 9.1 shares. You're consistently buying across different prices. When prices drop, you buy more shares. When prices rise, you buy fewer shares with your money. You never buy everything at the worst possible price, but you also never buy at the best possible price. You get the average. Vanguard analysed data from the US, UK, and Australian markets going back to 1926. They compared investing a lump sum immediately versus spreading it over 12 months. And the result? Lump sum investing won approximately 68% of the time. When lump sum won, it won by an average of 2.3%. And when pound cost averaging won, it won by an average of 1.1%. So lump sum not only wins more often, it wins bigger. So in real terms, if you've got £50,000 to invest, in 68 out of 100 scenarios, the lump sum puts you ahead by about £1,150 after 12 months. In 32 out of 100 scenarios, you're behind by £550. JP Morgan's 2024 study found lump sum beat pound cost averaging in 75% of all rolling 12 months periods from the 1990 to 2023. The reason? Markets go up more often than they go down. When you delay investing, you're usually just missing out on gains. So statistically, mathematically, logically, lump sum wins. Case closed, right? No, not quite. And that's because we're not robots. Imagine this, you've inherited £100,000. You invest it all in January, and by March, the market's down 15%. Your £100,000 is now worth £85,000, so you've lost £15,000 in 2 months. How would that make you feel? For most people, that's awful. Your brain screams, I knew I should have waited. The emotional pain might make you sell at the bottom, turning a temporary loss into a permanent one. Now, the pound cost averaging scenario, you've got the same £100,000, but you're investing £8,333 per month over a 12-month period. So by March, you've only put £25,000 into the market, so it's down to £21,250, and you've lost £3,750. That feels much more manageable. Plus, you've still got £75,000 left to invest at lower prices. So psychologically, you're excited, not terrified. This mindset shift is regret minimization. With pound cost averaging, you never have to live with investing everything at the peak. Research in the Journal of Financial Planning found investors who used pound cost averaging reported much higher satisfaction, even when their returns were slightly lower. They slept better, they stuck with their plan, and they didn't panic sell. Do not underestimate these factors. A strategy you actually follow is better than a perfect strategy that you abandon. Vanguard actually found that lump sum investors were 2.3 times more likely to sell during market drops within the first year. Why? Watching a large sum drop is psychologically harder. The hybrid strategy, which is investing a chunk immediately, then spreading the rest over a shorter period. You capture most of the lump sum advantage while getting a psychological benefit. Here are some examples. So you've got £20,000 to invest. Invest £10,000 immediately and spread the other £10,000 over a 3 to 6 month period, so about £2,000 a month. Or another example, you've got £10,000 but you're nervous about investing. Invest £3,000 immediately and spread the remaining £7,000 over the next 3 to 4 months, so around £1,750 to £2,333 per month. And why does this work? You're getting money into the market quickly enough to capture most of these gains, but you're not so exposed that a month one drop destroys you emotionally. Charles Schwab found that a 50% immediate investment and a 50% over 6 month approach captured about 90% of lump sum returns while being much easier psychologically. Here's a real example, the 2020 COVID crash. So on one hand, we have Alex, who is lump sum investing. On January 1st, 2020, Alex invested £50,000 in the FTSE All Share. By March 23rd, it's down to £34,000. Brutal. But Alex held, and by December 2020, his balance stood at £54,700. Then by December 2024, he's up to £71,000. And on the other hand, we have Jordan, who pound cost averaged. He has the same £50,000, but he decided to spread his investments over 12 months. By March, he only had £12,500 invested and it dropped to £8,500. But Jordan kept buying through the crash at incredible prices, and by December 2024, his total stood at £69,200. So the lump sum approach won by £1,800. But Alex was down £16,000 at the worst moment, and Jordan's worst was down only £4,000. Who do you think slept better? Even in one of the worst crashes we've known to recent date, lump sum investing won. But it took incredible strength to hold and not to panic sell at that moment. How much have you got to invest? Under £5,000? Think about lump sum investing. You've got £5,000 to £20,000? You might consider a 50% lump sum investment with a 50% pound cost average. Over 20 grand? Maybe a 60-40 split. How experienced are you with investing? Beginning investors might look at a 30-70% split, whereas a more experienced investor might split larger at 70-30 in the opposite direction. Ask yourself, how would you feel if this dropped 30% in 3 months? Would you panic and sell? If so, lean more towards pound cost averaging. If you were just frustrated but you can hold, perhaps a hybrid 50-50 split approach is better. If you would be excited to buy more, then lean towards more of a lump sum investment. The key thing to remember is that any systematic approach beats sitting and holding cash just waiting for the perfect moment. So, are you team lump sum, team pound cost average, or team hybrid? Do you have any money sitting in cash right now waiting for the right moment? Drop me a comment and let me know which team suits you best. And if this video helped you, please like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me continue to create more content like this and grow this channel. You can't predict the crash, but you can control your response. You can choose a strategy that works with your emotions, not against them. You can stop waiting for the perfect time and start building actual wealth now. If you're ready to go deeper, I've put together an ETF investing playlist right here on the screen with much more helpful information just for you.